Shalom, brothers and sisters. Yeah, back at it again. The fourth book of Ezra. Ezra's chapter 15. The last days. Oh my goodness. So behold, speak you in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in your mouth. Yeah. Says Yahuwah. And cause them to be written on paper, for they are trustworthy and true. Yes, Isaiah 51:16, Jeremiah 1:9. Fear not the imaginations against you. Let not the unbelief of them trouble you that speak against you. For all the unbelievers shall die in their unbelief. Did you hear that? You hear that? Yahuwah's vengeance upon the wicked. Here it comes. Behold, says Yahuwah, I will bring evil plagues upon the world. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. For injustice has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their harmful deeds are fulfilled. Therefore, says Yahuwah, I will hold my tongue no more concerning their wicked chesedless deeds, which they profanely commit. Neither will I tolerate their wicked practices, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cries out to me, and the souls of the righteous cry out continually. And therefore says Yahuwah, I will surely avenge them and receive to myself all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell any longer in the land of Egypt. Psalms 44:22, Isaiah 53:7. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all its lands. Denunciation against oppression of Israel. Well, here we go. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that I, Yahuwah, shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail, and their trees shall be ruined by blight and hail, and by a terrible tempest. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and misery draws near them, and nation shall stand up and fight against nation with swords in their hands. Matthew 24:7, Mark 13:8. For there shall be sedition and unrest among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride the city shall be troubled and be in confusion. The houses shall be destroyed, and the people shall be afraid. Luke 21:26. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their property, because of the lack of bread and because of great tribulation. 2. Denunciation against sinners. There goes, behold, says Yahuwah, I call together all the kings of the earth to revere, to reverence, and fear me, from the rising of the sun, and from the south, from the east and the west, to turn to each another and repay the things that they have done to them, just as they have done this day to my chosen people, so I do also, and will repay into their bosom. Thus says Yahuwah Almighty, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease from them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire will go forth from my wrath, and will consume the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like straw that is kindled. Woe to those who sin and do not observe my commandments, says Yahuwah, I will not spare them. Depart, you faithless children, and defile not my Kodesh place. For I, Yahuwah, knows all them that sin against me, and therefore delivers them to death and destruction. For now are the calamities come upon the whole earth, and you shall remain in them. For I, Yahuwah, shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against me. A vision of terrifying warfare. Behold, a terrifying sight, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. And the Carmanians from the north, raging in wrath, shall go forth as wild boars of the forest, and with great power shall they come and engage them in battle, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Psalm 80:13. And then shall the dragons, remembering their origin, shall become still together, and conspiring together in great power, and churn to purpose them. And conspiring together in great power, and churn to pursue them, shall have the upper hand. Then these shall be disorganized and silenced by their power, and shall turn and flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and fear and dread shall come upon their army, and strife among their kings. Omnius storm clouds. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north to the south, and their appearance is very horrifying or horrible to look upon, but the wrath full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one another and shall pour out a heavy tempest upon the earth, and their own tempest. And there shall be blood from the sword as high as a horse's belly, and a man's thigh, and a camel's hock. Revelation 14:20. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be sore afraid. They shall be seized with trembling, and seized with trembling. Thank you. And after that great storm, clouds shall be stirred up from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. And strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall prevail over the great storm cloud which I raised in my wrath, and shall dispel it, and the tempest to cause great fear and destruction, and shall be driven violently toward the south and west. And great and mighty clouds full of wrath and tempest shall rise up to destroy the inhabitants of the earth, and make all the earth afraid. And they shall pour out over every high and lofty place or person a horrible tempest, fire and hail, and flying swords, and floods of water, that all the fields and all the streams may be filled with the abundance of those waters. And they shall destroy the city and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their corn. And they shall go steadfastly to Babylon, and shall destroy her. They shall come to her and beseech her. They shall pour out the tempest of all its wrath upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up to the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. Revelations 14:8, Revelations 18:10-19. And they that survive shall do service to them that have put her in fear. Asia has become like Babylon. Check this out. And you, Asia, that are partakers of the glamour of Babylon, and are the splendor of her person. Woe be to you, miserable wretch, because you have made yourself like to her, and you decked your daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in your lovers, which have always lusted to commit whoredom with you. Revelation 14:8, Revelation 17:4. You have imitated and followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore, says Yahuwah, I will send plagues upon you, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to lay waste your houses with destruction and death, and the splendor of your power shall be dried up as a wildflower, or as a flower. When the heat rises that is sent over you, you shall be weakened like a wretched woman beat with stripes, and is wounded, so that you cannot receive your mighty lovers. Would I have dealt with you with a jealous wrath, says Yahuwah. Would I have dealt with you with a jealous wrath, says Yahuwah, if you had not always slain my chosen people, leaping for joy and clapping your hands and talking about their dead when you were drunken. Set forth the beauty of your countenance. Set forth the beauty of your countenance. The reward of a whore is your bosom. Therefore you shall receive your recompense, like as you have done to my chosen people, says Yahuwah. Even so shall Yahuwah the Almighty do to you, and shall deliver you over to adversaries. Your children shall die of hunger, and you shall fall by the sword, and your city shall be broken down, and all your people who are in the open country shall perish with the sword. And they that be in the mountains and highlands shall die of hunger, and they shall eat their own flesh in hunger of bread, and drink their own blood in thirst for water. Unhappy, I think the dog's in there. Unhappy above all others, you shall come through the sea and receive plagues again. And in the passage they shall wreck the hateful, unprofitable city. Wreck the hateful and unprofitable city, Aman, and shall destroy some portion of your land, and abolish a part of your glory, as they return from the devastated Babylon, and you shall be cast down by them like stubble, and they shall be like fire to you, and they shall consume you, and your cities, your land, and your mountains. They shall burn with fire all your woods and your fruitful trees. Your children shall then be carried away captive, and shall plunder your wealth, and mar the beauty of your face. Wow! Well, praise God, brothers and sisters. That was 4th Ezra 15.